everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we decode the language of business. Today we're diving into Vertiv's latest filing. And let me tell you, this one has more twists than a server rack cable management system. What does this company actually do? And why is the board talking about operations so much? Let's jump in. This document is a proxy statement for Vertiv's annual meeting in June, sent out to inform shareholders about key decisions and let them vote on important matters like who gets to be on the board. The main things up for a vote are electing 10 directors, giving an advisory opinion on executive pay, and ratifying their choice of Ernst & Young as their accounting firm. It's basically corporate housekeeping, but with potential for drama if shareholders disagree with management. The summary really focuses on what the company considers its wins. Sales are up, operating margins improved, and they're sitting on a huge backlog of orders. They're painting a picture of strong execution and a transformation driven by the rise of AI and high-performance computing. Vertiv is also keen to show off their responsible business side. They're talking about reducing emissions, using recycled materials, and developing energy-efficient products. It's the kind of stuff investors like to see, especially with increasing focus on sustainability. Okay, so what are the details about this meeting? The meeting is virtual, so you can attend it on your computer. If you own shares, you have a right to vote. It's pretty simple since you can do it online. First up, we have the election of 10 directors. The board is recommending you vote for all their nominees. These are the people who will be guiding the company's strategy. Let's meet some of these folks. David Coate, the executive chairman, has a long history at Honeywell and is clearly the experienced hand on deck. Giordano Albertazzi, the CEO, rose through the ranks at Vertiv, giving him deep knowledge of the company's operations. The board is mostly independent, meaning they don't have strong ties to the company's management, which is meant to ensure they're acting in the best interests of shareholders. They had a bunch of meetings throughout the year and most directors showed up pretty consistently. It is generally considered bad when someone misses a lot of meetings. The board is divided into committees such as audit, compensation, and nominating, each with specific responsibilities. These committees handle a lot of the detailed oversight work. It's interesting to see a mix of long-time Vertiv veterans and people with experience at other big companies in leadership roles. Now we get to the fun part. How much are the executives getting paid? The company emphasizes that it is pay for performance. If the company does well, the executives get paid well. If not. The CEO's salary is $1 million with potential for a much larger bonus and stock options. A large portion of his pay comes from stock options that only have value if the stock price increases, which they emphasize strongly. The bonus payouts for named executive officers were above target because the company achieved results above the financial targets. Basically, they hit it out of the park. Okay, time for a quick peek at the numbers. I will highlight some that caught my attention. Looking at the director compensation table, the non-employee directors are doing all right, receiving a mix of cash and stock options. David Coate, the executive chairman, gets more than 3 times more options than any other board member, signaling the market sees him as more vital. Now, the executive summary compensation table shows us how much cash and stock was awarded to the top dogs. The amounts reported in the option awards column represent the aggregate grant date fair value of stock options granted during the year, which vested annually over the years. Looking at the table with options outstanding at year end for some of these people, it's in the millions of dollars. If the company does well, they do really well. If things go south and an executive leaves, they're entitled to certain benefits, especially if there's a change in control of the company. It's basically a golden parachute designed to soften the landing. The CEO pay ratio is 482 to 1. This basically means the CEO makes 482 times the median employee. This is not terribly shocking for companies of this size. In 2024, the CEO compensation was about $12 million, while the average of the other top executives was roughly $2.2 million. Their net income was roughly $495 million, and their adjusted operating profits were roughly $1.5 billion. We get to the vote on executive compensation. It's non-binding, meaning the board doesn't have to listen, but it's a good way for shareholders to voice their opinion on whether the executives are being paid fairly. Finally, there's the ratification of Ernst & Young as the company's auditor. This is pretty standard stuff. The audit committee wants to make sure these guys are independent. They checked them out, and so it's all good. The company paid Ernst & Young almost $11 million in fees for the year, most of it for audit work and taxes. This is pretty standard for big companies like this. Okay, who runs the company? BlackRock and Vanguard are the big institutional shareholders, owning significant chunks of the stock. Directors and executives also hold shares, aligning their interests with those of the other shareholders. BlackRock owns about 9.73%, and Vanguard owns about 9.21%. All the executives and the board together own just 2.63%. The company has a policy in place to handle any transactions where there might be a conflict of interest with board members or executives. This is meant to keep things transparent and fair. The big one is that if any related person transaction is worth over $120,000, it needs approval. In 2020, Vertiv and GS Acquisition Holdings merged together. There were no Section 16 reports, so that's good. It means people are doing things correctly. And that is the end. Mostly boring legalese, but with some tasty numbers. To muffle my takes, Vertiv is riding a wave of data growth and AI adoption, and it shows in their financial results, but can they keep it up? The company's direction seems solid with a focus on innovation, capacity, and operational excellence. A potential risk might be the reliance on those key executives, so succession planning will be important. The sheer size of payments in a change of control for the executives may be problematic, but right now they are paying for performance, which at the end of the day aligns with shareholders. Overall, Vertiv looks like a company firing on all cylinders, but keeping a close eye on risk management and execution will be key to long-term success. Thanks for watching Corporate Decoder. If you found this breakdown helpful, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe for more deep dives into the world of corporate filings.